Mary Catherine Ham at MK Hammer on Twitter, host of the Getting Hammered podcast. Mary Catherine, it's really good to see you again.
It's good to see you. You look great.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's they have lots of really great lighting in my studio here. That's all I can say. You look terrific as well, and it's
Well,
been way too
I look like
long.
a mom. I look like a mom with like some pretty cracked out children who was at Halloween all night. But that's my look today, and I'm going with it.
And it's probably going to be your look the rest of the week as they're eating through their Halloween stash, right? Have I got this
Correct.
correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm glad that we have a moment of joy here because I got to ask you about how you're handling this moment in America. I mean, I really feel like I went to bed on October 7th, an American, and I woke up on October 8th or 9th, I guess, in Nuremberg, 1933. I mean, it is just absolutely devastating to me to see this huge paroxysm of anti-Semitism, especially in college campuses, but I will also say not exclusively so. Um,
Hmm.
After the most devastating massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, I am astounded by this. And I'm somebody who's skeptical of the left, and I'm astounded by this. I'm wondering how you're approaching this.
Yeah, so I think I wasn't surprised by the alignment of college students and many on the left with the Palestinian cause, but or
Yeah.
even the anti-Semitism, because that's been there as well. And I know what college campuses are. The brazenness, the vociferousness, the sort of viciousness with which they're going after even just college students on campus in physical ways, and the way that, by the way, these cowardly administrations are not doing their first duty, which is to keep those kids physically safe, and they can easily follow their own protocols going after violence, vandalism, and blocking speech from others, and they're
Right.
not doing that. It's frightening to watch because it will continue to escalate. I think we've seen this movie before, guys.
Indeed. I mean, I was just talking with Larry O'Connor about Cabaret. I mean, literally, I've seen this movie before, and I mean, "Tomorrow Belongs to Me" is almost the marching song that we're seeing in these college campuses. And if you haven't seen the movie and don't understand the reference, it's a great movie. Go see it. Um, I guess, what do you think that this says about American culture that we are seeing this here in the United States? I'm just, I know I shouldn't be surprised by this, Mary Catherine. I know that this has all been left aligned for a long time. I get the sympathy where the sympathies lie, but I mean, when you have students at UCLA marching saying we want Jewish genocide, I mean,
Yeah.
that to me is I can't even I can't wrap my mind around that.
So I think what has been revealed, much of which I knew, but I think I didn't understand the degree, is that what they are teaching generations of students on college campuses and what has seeped out, unfortunately, into the general culture. Now, I should note that in polling, you see that our nation remains sane and that there is a
Yes.
silent, very big majority who backs Israel in this situation. But a lot of people have been taught an ideology that releases them entirely from a moral right and wrong. It allows them to just point a finger at someone, say that that person is an oppressor, ironically say that that person with their words is genociding them. You're saying the wrong thing, and I'm being genocided, and therefore, whatever measures they need to take to resist that oppressor are totally fine. And that is a toxic idea. It is a dangerous ideology. And a lot of people have it in their hearts and in their brains in a very, very deep way, deeper than I thought. I thought it was maybe just used conveniently to yell at people on college campuses, but it's being used for far more than that. And it aligns with, as you say, actual genocidal thoughts and wishes and actions. And that is horrifying.
It's horrifying. What's the solution? I know we probably got about a minute left, but in your mind, what's the solution? Where do we go to fix this? Is it fixable?
Well, so I try to do my tiny part by going to college campuses and talking about issues and trying to convince college students. And many of them, by the way, I usually have a very good experience. Many of them are not as well, I would just say crazy as the ones that you see in these clips, right? But the problem is that those guys have the power on campus, the ones who are marching. They get things given to them. There was a story in the Free Beacon just yesterday, Aaron Severium reporting on it, that the head of the protest that shouted down the Stanford, the judge speaking at Stanford, that person got a slot on the selection team for picking the new dean. Like, these
Right.
people are promoted. They're not just not punished. And so I think until college administrators switch that vibe and start punishing the people who need to be punished, you don't even begin to deal with this problem because the other students are too scared to speak out with good reason. It's
A very good reason. Mary Catherine Ham at MK Hammer on Twitter or X, and the Getting Hammered podcast. She's the co-host there. Be sure to check that out.